for joining me. In this lecture I'll be looking at something rather peculiar. This is the fact that in the endgame the knight can perform some real miracles, so long as there is that important theme of Zugzwang, or obligation to move, we could say. Clearly, without this pawn it would be game over, draw. However, we see that such is the nature of these knights and how tricky they are. If there is such a pawn with the ability to move, stalemating chances are very much reduced, which increases winning chances. And surprisingly, you can find some checkmates quite late into the endgame, and this is a great example. Knight c1, brilliant. Here's the point. The king at the moment is trapped by the force, of this king. And now that we play knight c1, we control this square, so don't forget it's not stalemate because there's that extra move, and once a2 is played, that's checkmate. And I think it's a very important theme to be able to understand. And also, if we don't understand it, we can transfer this theme into other endgames. Even with two knights, we can win. Obviously, this would be trivial and a simple draw if it were two knights versus a lone king. We can use the fact that this pawn might be able to advance, and if it can advance and black has no other move, then this is how we exploit the obligation to move in chess. Knight f3, brilliant. Again, we set up a kind of stalemate, meaning that the king cannot move, and then we see that this pawn can, and after h2 all we need is one piece, the other piece, to join in with the attack and deliver the final blow. They're pretty simple. Here's another one, mating in 3 moves this time. Don't forget that to create those stalemating traps, which require only one extra piece to give a check, to give the final checkmate, we need the king in. So can you find the move? That's right, king h3. Now we control these squares, and so it's almost stalemate. King h1 is forced, and now here's the point, check and checkmate. We see that in this case that extra pawn can help in another way. It blocks the escape square. That's crucial. And our last one, mate in 4 moves. This is where you need to be a bit fearless, because you need to allow this pawn to give you some trouble. If you're lucky enough to be able to drive the king into the corner, or if it's already situated there when you enter such an endgame, be careful to block this pawn. Don't let it move. You'll be working with just the lone knight, but if you can trap a king in this way, and with only this move left, you can find the way to deliver checkmate. Knight g4, bring in the pieces. And even though it looks like he's going to queen, we shouldn't obviously take this because that would then be a draw, but instead we play knight h6, check, and everything's forced. Here's the point, stalemate. King cannot move, checkmate. Thank you very much, hope you enjoyed that. Obviously we were probably not going to see this in our own games, but it's nice to know, and hopefully we can use the knowledge in other practical situations.